Hey looters, today I want to talk about my revision to try to fix the Assassin Rogue, my own homebrew version of it. I think you're really going to like it today on Flutes Loot. Before I begin, if you're new here, I'm Flutes, my wife is Opal, and we maintain this Flutes Loot channel. Our videos are paired with articles on our website, flutesloot.com. You can read along by following the link in the description. We've got heaps of content for you there to help you out with your D&D games, whether you're a player or a DM. Bookmark that site and subscribe to this channel. So, getting into my Assassin overhaul, my homebrew revision of it, I want to say that this is a subclass that I've really wanted to be good for a long time. My very first character started out as an assassin in the D&D Next rules, and then when D&D 5th edition officially came out, I switched it to Arcane Trickster because I had multi-class with a wizard, and so Arcane Trickster just made sense. But Assassin was really fun for me to try to get those auto crits and surprise people. But I've since learned just how difficult it is for the Assassin to pull that off in a lot of gaming groups, and how one-dimensional it is to make the Assassin try to do that and then just be a regular rogue the rest of the time. So I think my revision has changed that, and I think I've made the Assassin better at what it already was and make it cooler outside of just that surprise attack at the beginning of combat. Now, I'm open to feedback. I've already changed this like once or twice based on some feedback I got, but I've run the numbers and I think everything's fine for what I want the Assassin to achieve. And I've heard some people say the same. They say this is an Assassin, they should be good at taking out single targets. At level 3, I first changed the ability of bonus proficiencies, that's a really boring name, and I made it Tricks of the Trade is the new name for it. I kept it the same, you still get proficiency with Disguise kits and Poisoner's kits, but I added that you can add your proficiency bonus to initiative rolls. This is important because assassins need to go first, especially in that first round of combat, so that they can at least get advantage or even critically hit a creature that hasn't moved and is surprised. I have a whole article about how surprise works in D&D if you want to check that out. That'll help you understand why the assassin was kind of problematic and how I'm trying to fix it. So initiative bonus is great for this rogue. I also fed more into the Poisoner's Kit part of this because I feel like there's not a lot of support for it in D&D. That's kind of been changing with now we get like a Poisoner's Feat and stuff from Tasha's. But still, it's like, what do you do with this? What do you do with the Disguise Kit? So I just threw in that you're so used to poisons that you get resistance to poison damage. I also took some inspiration from wizard classes that can learn spells for half the cost and half the time, and made it so assassins can craft potions for half the cost and in half the time. So instead of just disguise kits and poisoners kits, you get poison resistance, cheap, fast poisons, and initiative bonuses. And that might sound like a lot, but think about what each of those bonuses are and how impactful they are in your average game, and I think they are pretty sound. Next is the main event, the Assassinate ability. It's mostly the same, but I added another bonus to feed into the poisoning part of the rogue assassin, which is kind of inspired by the bonus action poisoning that Tasha's Cauldron of Everything feat Poisoner lets you do. So now the Assassinate ability gives you the ability as an assassin to poison weapons and ammunition as a bonus action instead of an action. This will make it so that if you do succeed in your Assassinate ability in getting a critical hit on a surprised creature in the first round of combat and you just feel really good about it, you can actually add a little bit more damage to that with poisons. I think the Assassin was supposed to be this way to begin with, but now I'm really developing that with this version of the Assassin. So the next problem that I'm addressing is how the level 9 and level 13 abilities of the Assassin could pretty much be accomplished through role playing, and you didn't really gain much from those abilities to like create your own identities and have advantage to pass yourself off as other people. Wasn't jiving with me. So I actually moved the level 13 ability and smushed it into the level 9 ability and made it a little bit more clear what value you can get out of it. So it's still called Infiltration Expertise, but I'll just say that I reworked it. It's pretty much brand new, so I'm just going to read what it does now. Starting at 9th level, you gain proficiency with forgery kits, and you roll deception charisma skill checks with advantage to impersonate or adopt fictional personas. Sounds pretty similar so far. You may add your intelligence modifier to deception skill checks rolled to impersonate someone if you observe the person's speech, handwriting, mannerisms, or other notable traits for 10 minutes. This was a cool idea I got from a fan reader who thought this was a great assassin concept and they wanted to see intelligence be fed into it a little bit more. So now you have the option to be extra deceptive if you are intelligent and you've been watching someone for a while, playing into that keen mind, just watching someone, picking up their mannerisms so that then you can become them later. And then I added one little thing that's completely new to this ability, which is You roll sleight of hand checks with advantage to avoid detection when poisoning food or drink. If you have impersonated a noble and you don't just want to stab them in the middle of the gala you're in, you can have advantage to slip some poison into their food on that sleight of hand check. And so you can be that subtle assassin that no one even knows you're there, instead of being forced to just stabby. Again, you could always do this, but it's just making you better at doing it and increasing your chances of success. So you can still impersonate people, make fake personas, and infiltrate different places with those personas and your ability to mimic. But you can also poison food and drink with advantage on your sleight of hand checks. So just better chances to succeed against watchful eyes and thorough chefs. So since I moved that level 13 and smushed it into level 9, we now have a vacuum for a new ability at level 13, which I call Just Business. This is the ability that made one of my readers really mad, and I tried to get a dialogue going, but they never responded, unfortunately. But they thought this was broken. But I ran the numbers, and I think it's fine. I could be convinced that one of the 2 bonuses could be left out and it would still be good. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. But here's what it is. At level 13, Just Business makes it so your sneak attack dice are no longer D6s, they are D8s. And when you roll sneak attack dice, any 1s or 2s you roll count as 3s. I wanted to do this because I liked how the Phantom Rogue plays with what sneak attack damage can do. It can be used for different things to attack like an enemy nearby. I wanted to enhance the sneak attack, or at least make it unique to the assassin. At level 13, this raises the damage range available to you for sneak attack from potentially rolling 7 to 42 to instead rolling 21 to 56. So your maximum damage with sneak attack doesn't increase all that much. It's just by 14, which when have you ever rolled max damage with sneak attack? I don't think I ever have. And then your minimum damage is what's really cool. So as an assassin and a sneak attack expert, you don't want to roll a bunch of 1s and get really low rolls on your big assassinate or even just any sneak attack damage in combat. Raising that minimum damage, I think, is what makes this really cool and flavorful to be an assassin. The average damage still remains not so high, even if the range is 21 to 56. It's still weighted towards the bottom because you can still roll 1s, 2s, and 3s, and that still is like giving you the minimum range of 21. And so it doesn't mean the average damage is suddenly like 40 for your sneak attack damage. I think it's still closer to like 30 or something like that. It still keeps your average damage towards not being crazy, but it makes your minimum damage higher so that you're just more consistent. Now, I know this is the context of the assassin, so you're good at critting, and I gave you that feature earlier to poison weapons as a bonus action, so you could potentially add poison to your critical hits. I know you're pumping out a lot of damage, but that's what assassins are supposed to do. I could be convinced that maybe the sneak attack should remain D6s, or if they do become D8s, to not make 1s and 2s become 3s. I'd have to play test it, but for now, this is what it is, and I think it's okay to make a big choice with a subclass design, especially if we're revising something that just hasn't worked for a long time. Seriously, let me know your thoughts. Does this shock you, or is it like, yes, this is how it should be? Tell me how you feel. I want to know. It's important to me to perfect my revision of the assassin so that it's as satisfying and cool as I first thought it was when I first started playing 5th edition. And one more thing, I also like that making your sneak attack damage do so much more damage makes it so you're not just going to be a rogue that multi-classes to something else maybe at higher levels. I like it when subclasses are good enough to invest 20 levels in your class, because I know a lot of people like to multi-class once you get to high level play. Okay, we still have one more feature, and that's Death Strike. I left it pretty much the same, but I added one more thing so it doesn't feel so bad if your target passes their saving throw. But I altered it so that it doesn't feel so bad and useless if you get a surprise attack on someone and then you do Death Strike and they pass their saving throw, so you just do your regular critical hit, which is still good, but you've been doing that since level 3. And so to make Death Strike at least give you something, regardless of whether they pass that saving throw or not, I made it so you reduce their initiative to 1. So all of a sudden, you're an ambusher with your whole team. Now, they can probably all move before that key target. And so all the minions might get turns, but that high-level sorcerer, if they survived your Death Strike, is still going to be last in initiative, or close to it, unless someone had like some kind of horrible modifier to go below 0. This plays into how I think the assassin already should feed into a theme of initiative manipulation, because it focuses so much on surprising enemies. Now at level 3, you're getting that bonus to initiative, you're getting better with poisons, then you get your infiltration expertise, you can poison food with greater success. You increase your damage output with sneak attack at level 13, and then your death strike. If you don't get that double damage like you really want, you can at least reduce their initiative. And that's kind of the big picture with my revision of the assassin. I've said it a few times, but seriously, I want to hear your feedback. I want to perfect this. This is a passion project for me, a labor of love to make the assassin good. And I want people to share this around to be like, hey, Flutes made the assassin good, and it's something everyone should try. That's my dream. Help me live my dream, please. Sneak attack that subscribe button so you can get more content like this. I will be putting out a few more revisions for subclasses I think need help, that I know need help. So stay tuned for those, and let me know your own revisions. You know, have you seen other homebrews that you think I should consider? Did someone already do this for me and I'm just rehashing it? Regardless, I am Flutes, my wife is Opal. We'll keep making content for you on YouTube and especially on flutesloot.com. We've been running that site for years and having a good time talking to players and DMs like yourselves to help everyone have a better game. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Until next time, ta-ta.